And look at this! You will never guess what I'm going to do with these things. I am Jeffrey Rogue Kohut. This is my Potter's Journal for February now, 2025. It is. Okay, this is pre-Valentine's Day, and I have several winter shows coming up. These are not your typical craft shows. Several of them are in fire halls. The first one is a tack trade swap, so lots of horse people there. My expectations are not very high. Now, this was last Friday. I opened the kiln, and Saturday was the show, so I will let you know here in the end what happened. Okay, let's see what's in the kiln today. So, let's see what's in the kiln today. Okay, this is another firing with the heart pots. And this is the sgraffito where I put down a white slip over a dark clay body. In this case, it is the hazelnut from Standard. I put a very simple little foot on here. Very simple little foot. But when you scratch through the white slip to the dark body, it looks very rough. It looks very rugged, very raw. But the glaze softens it up. But not that I particularly like this batch, but it does soften it up. And on the little heart cream pitchers, or somebody said they were for vodka, so it depends who you are. I thought it's really the heart made in the top that makes the piece. So I kept the decoration very simple, just a heart, And it looks like this one has only two wings to it. So, a glaze I like, a celadon. Okay, over. And you know, if you can see the little specks, it's glazed over and they're fine, but it was, the slip froze. And when I mixed it up and dipped the first piece, I saw all of that. So I put it through a sieve, and okay, it's a little rough, but they seem to be glazed over, and it's okay. But so after the slip freezing, since it does get cold here in the winter, I did have to put it through a sieve again. So I don't remember ever having to do that before. Most of the others are, people love the sea mist. This aqua blue. It's actually, this time it does look more blue than aqua. But that is okay. And I just put a black slip over this and carved through. So, and the design a little bit different on each, but the wavy pattern on them all. Okay, so that's not a combination, but just very simply glazed. This is something that people always like to find something, and this one had something that burnt out in the bisque fire, but I glazed it anyway. So this is, people always like an inexpensive item that they can pick up and are looking for that, and for me, this is that item. I've eliminated having to put the handle on it. Imagine putting a handle on a small piece. Okay, it's bad enough putting them on big pieces. So, because of that, the eye focuses on the heart in the top, and you don't need the handle. Visually, I think it's fine without. Without the heart, the novelty, I don't know that they'd like it as much. And this is the glaze I like, this green celadon-like glaze. The wavy, very fluid and flowing. So, okay, and I'm doing this because I'm doing some winter shows just before Valentine's Day. But people always like mugs. I have mugs that when I do the sgraffito in them, you know, when we do all that carving and have all that dust to deal with, we have to charge quite a bit more for them. So this is just a very simply made mug. Just very clean straight lines, no complex curves, and just very simply glazed. Very simply glazed. And you know, I think I like the simplicity of it. That we don't have all that clutter. That we don't have a curly Q handle down here. That we don't have people put a thing for your thumb there. But it's always like, well, you have to force yourself into grabbing it that way. I mean, anytime to me it always looks like it's telling you how to hold it. Whereas this, you can grab it like this and use it. So I'm glad these turned out. I was worried because the bottom glaze is not the most spectacular. I would have liked to see the blue run. It often runs down this for me. So maybe, maybe in the next firing it'll do that. And I want to talk about doing some winter shows, small winter shows, as a local fire department, at another nursery business. But we've got to see this. These are the ones I did. These are the ones I did. 2 videos demonstrated making the bowl, very simple bowl, showing how to alter the rim, and how to do the dots. This was the first video I ever got 1,000 views in the first week. That somehow the YouTube algorithms picked up on it. It wasn't that spectacular. But not only did it get 1,000 views, did they explode like the heart that you love this video so much, or the algorithms did, to put it out there, that it actually got 2,000 videos in the first week. So these are the ones, oh, look at that. How did that happen? You know, this is reclaimed clay, I think. So yeah, that was fun. That was fun for me. That now we're just back to everyday life. But for about a week there, okay, it was fun answering 12 comments or more. Okay, you know, there are more of the hard stuff here. I'm doing a couple winter shows. This graffito, that I did these really fast in a demo video for you too. So I didn't really think about how the tool was going to make the line, and didn't really work it out. But on this one, I think I used a little different tool. The line's very thin. These are somewhat inspired by early American Pennsylvania redware. It's written up usually in guides as early American or as Pennsylvania. So since that's where I'm from, that's what I call it. And it's usually on the redware pots. I do the graffito technique on the stoneware because it makes it much more durable and strong and usable. Okay, so now I've got hard pots ready to do a winter show. Not a big one though, just at the local fire hall. And look at this! You will never guess what I'm going to do with these things. You will have to stop back in the next video to see. Okay, this is an idea I've got. Will it work? Will I sell anything, any of them? This will be a novelty for me. Oh, and these little bowls, actually, I like these. They're very simple, very cleanly made little bowls. Maybe I shouldn't do what I'm going to do with them. Maybe I should just see if people like them and buy them just as they are. Very small. They're not 3 inches across. They're hardly 2 inches tall. Just a little inexpensive item. Just something that maybe will grab people's heart and make them just want to buy it, even though they don't know. Even though they don't know just exactly what they will do with them. Maybe stacking them up, okay, is just what I need to do. Now, about doing shows, this is not from this kiln load. This is what I do now. This is a Maybe you'd want a ring baking bowl, a petitsa or nut roll baking pan if you're Slovenian, a potichnica. This is what I'm doing now. This I found sitting around the studio. This is from 4 years back, or maybe more. This is what I was doing just a short time ago. So this is what, if you keep at it, you can go from wherever you are to wherever you will be. You can go from this, if you keep at it in a number of years, to this. So how about that? I almost broke this up to make new clay out of, to reclaim it, but thought, you know what, I'm going to fire it. It's an example now. When I go to a show of what I've done, where I've been, and where I've gotten to. Amazingly, I could hardly sell these at a low price, and these I get double or triple for, and sell out on, I think I've made about the 30 each year, so we need to take that up a bit. And the same with doing shows. That I really have no winter shows. My great success, oh, these ones did run a bit, unlike the ones on the top. That I used to do shows in the city. Pittsburgh has a number of good art shows. I just got the application for Fair in the Park. It cost $450 to do. I need product liability insurance as well. The expense of parking and driving and eating in the city. I have been very lucky. I do a farmer's market, and this is what I always questioned. Why? It costs $450 to do an art show where most people just come and look. And a farmer's market where most people come to buy costs only $5, $10, $15, at the most $25. So I'm going to be taking a few steps back. We are going to do a couple fire hall shows this winter. This is where, if you haven't done anything and you want to start, a great place to start. And you know, I haven't mind just a very simple single glaze and doing something with the clay so it catches. Okay, so I got to get packed up. I've got to get packed up for a winter show. Maybe I'll give you a few hints of what it was like there. So, the tack show at the local fire hall. I sold some pots. I didn't sell a lot of pots. I sold that many. But it was only 5 hours, 9 to 2. Took 5 minutes to get there in the truck. And actually, Saturday morning, 5 hours. If you add the sales up for maybe an art show is 2 or often even 3 days, and sometimes on Friday you don't sell anything. So if we add that up and that up and that up and that up, if I do the same at a few of these weekend shows, it will equal a good art festival maybe. Okay, so you too. And the other thing, this was not a craft show, this was a tack trade swap. There were maybe 3 other craftspeople. The one did leather work, so they were kind of lost in the crowd. I stood out, that I was around the corner when people came in. You didn't see me, but they went right, and they looked down, and whoa was the word I heard all day long. As I said, didn't sell a million pots, but did sell a few. It was my local community. I could say, when they said, "Oh, where are you from?" I pointed out the back of the building and I said, "I live 1 mile that way." So whenever you're ready, stop into my studio and see what you want. Okay, maybe I'll do something special for you. Okay, now maybe I'll give you a little hint here on the heart bowls that came out of today's kiln. Okay, that we will see next week. So stop back and see something new that I've never done before in the studio next week.